His Kitchen, it's famous. It's or I don't want to. Maybe it's a lot of people know now than they did like.
You think so?
I know so. I know
Really?
so. Like
Okay.
from Ajnabi people to local people to pretty much it's a wide Columbus wide name known now. And I'm really surprised that how you guys coping with the success that comes along with that. What do you think that is?
Thank you for that. First off, that's very humbling. We really don't look at ourselves like that. It's a family-owned business. Aside from maybe 2 or 3 employees, it's really very much a family-owned business. So we're so focused on ourselves as a unit that we really don't focus on the success really, because we don't feel successful yet.
It's everyday grind.
It's not. I mean, to us, this is just the beginning.
Okay.
Yes, we've our name has expanded, and there's a lot more people who are familiar with the name and the cuisine, but we still have a lot more to go. So what really helped us, I think, is expanding into the North market. I was told there was absolutely zero, forget about Somali representation, not very many black-owned businesses in the downtown core, in that space. And so it was very important for us to represent for the Somali community and the overall African diaspora community, I feel like.
How did that opportunity come about? Was that like a long-term vision, or that was just some sort of hey, this opportunity presents itself, and how do we take advantage of it?
Well, definitely a long-term vision, but it really came organically. It came naturally for us because, we were very much focused on the north side of town with aspirations to expand into different parts of the city, but we were honestly just focused on the north side. I mean, I'm ambitious, and I've always wanted to be downtown and to be in certain
to be in the main street.
Exactly. So, but I knew it took patience. It takes a lot of patience to get to that point, because let's be honest, Somali food to a lot of people it's just they can't fathom, they can't even put it into words what it actually is. I mean Somali cuisine, some people don't think we even have a cuisine.
For me, when I think about Somali cuisine and Somali restaurant, the first thing that comes to mind is a heavy food.
Yeah.
A food that will require for you just to sit down and take your time enjoying it. I mean, it's really good.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're not disputing anything about the taste, but the long, the period that is going to take from point A to point, it's a heavy food, and you guys kind of sort of simplify that.
We simplified it, and and to an extent modernized it, and I don't mean that in regards to the actual taste of the cuisine, just in the
combination.
No, in the way we present it to customers. There's something called QSR.
Okay, what is that?
It's a revolutionary concept in the restaurant business.
Okay.
It's QSR, stands for Quick Service Restaurant.
Okay.
And basically, through my own research, and I mean, this is, if you know anything about the restaurant business, Chipotle revolutionized the whole restaurant business. I mean, you can put Panda Express, and for the most part, Chipotle, because they took Mexican food, right? Something that can be served relatively fast and through a food truck and whatnot, but they added the element of customizing your options. Not only that, they made basically slow cooked food served fast, as opposed to the fast food concept, which is fast food.
Fast cook,
just fast cook, fast served, fast. Just get you out the door. Whereas a restaurant like, many of these restaurants that are going out of business, Olive Garden, you have Applebee's. I mean, a lot of them are going out of business. They're like big box, nationwide brands that basically the millennial generation they don't gravitate towards, because. So look, you have the sit down concept where you literally sit down and you wait for your food, and it might take half an hour.
Right.
And then you have the McDonald's, which is unhealthy for the most part. They're both unhealthy, but then you have the fast food options like McDonald's, Wendy's, just fast food.
Right.
Fried, saturated fat, high grease, So, but then you have something in the middle called quick service restaurant, also known as fast casual. So it's casual food served fast. And that's a happy medium, because people want good quality food and they want it served fast. So somewhere in between. The best qualities of its fast speed and higher in quality. Now we could debate if Chipotle is, but it changed the game. So that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
In a nutshell, that's what I want to do. Somali food, we wanted to make Somali food. First of all, people who don't know the cuisine, they taste with their eyes first.
Yeah.
So it was very important for me to have the food displayed in front of them, where they could see the options, the different selections, because when you put goat meat on a menu, people are like, let's go. Americans don't know goat meat, and that's our number one thing.
Right.
Different options, but when you see it, it's not scary at all. It's not intimidating. It's in fact quite opposite. It's appealing. People walk past our stall and they're like, "Oh my God, this looks amazing! I gotta try it," because that wasn't a mistake. That was something that we consciously factored in. You know what I mean? Like the design element of it, putting certain things in certain places. Additionally, Somalis. Let's be honest, we're Somalis. We don't eat a lot of veggies.
You see that?
We don't eat a lot of veggies, my brother.
That is true.
We do not eat a lot of veggies. So,
we don't eat a lot of veggies.
So it was, important for me to add a lot of veggie options. We eat veggies. I should not say we don't eat veggies. We traditional Somali cuisine. There's a lot of vegetable options, but. Since
the way they come about those options is a bit challenging. But I think, on that note, I think there's a lot more. We intend to lean a lot more into fruits than just to greens,
veggies. Yeah.
You don't see too many Somalians that will sit down. I mean, in the North America and people that are health conscious.
We mean, I think. Somalis in the diaspora with access to the abundant vegetables and meats and all this. We eat meat back home, but for the most part, we come here and that's fresh. It's definitely fresh. We come here and we forget about veggies altogether for whatever reason.
We do.
But not to toot our own horn in regards to our business, but I feel it's very important. I felt it was very important for us to add these options, make it customizable, make it accessible in regards to people's, in the way we display it, and also. Give people the option if they don't want to eat meat. You can have vegan options. Somali baris is the best baris in the world. I mean, it's top. It's up there.
Right.
In my humble opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of that flavor comes from the broth that we cook the bris in. And we had to make
the maraq.
Maraq, yeah, maraq.
Yeah, that's right.
So we had to make a conscious decision to take out that broth because because we have a lot of customers who are vegan.
That's right.
So initially, when we opened, we had to switch it up real fast because the same way we want restaurants to respect our halal diet and not want to eat anything with pork or cooked with pork products. That's the the respect level that we have for vegans and vegetarians who don't want their options, their food to be cooked with meat.
So what is the feedback do you get? Right now it's about a year or maybe
a year and a half.
Year and a half. So,
a year and a half.
And I'm glad you guys got into the North Market before the pandemic. It drew a lot of people. There was a lot of eyes on you guys. Yes. And I'm glad that period of 6 months prior to going through this rough patch with the COVID-19, I feel like people get to know you guys. Yes. What is the feedback do you get when people come and the perception that they have and the taste, when those two kind of connect?
Good question. Yeah,
I never thought I was going to taste this bad. What would they say to you guys?
This is Midwest palate. This is Columbus, Ohio. This is not New York. This is.
So what are you trying to say?
People are not
diverse.
Columbus is not as diverse as many places. No, yes, it's not.
We all know that.
We all know that, but people are very open-minded. I mean, trust me, it's one of the most shocking things when you see someone wearing a MAGA hat in line next to someone who would never wear something like that.
That's right.
And it's just the diversity in our customers is just humbling. I mean, it really is a shock. I mean, it was a shock when we first opened. Because before we opened, we knew the food was good.
Right.
We didn't know whether people would come back, though.
Right.
You really never know. As confident, I mean, you're investing 100, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
100,000, 150 into a business. And you invest it because you're confident in your abilities and you're confident in your culture and your belief in your food, your cuisine. Or else you never put that kind of money into a space like that. And I was very confident. You know me. You know me, brother. I was very confident. I literally gambled everything that we had. So.
And in some, I mean, life it's about a risk.
Absolutely.
Taking, in somewhat in the finance, and we say calculate a risk. Now, going back to the vision of the display and simplicity of the food, right? And we talked about that having taste is not the issue, and display. So when you, like you say, somebody's wearing that kind of hat, come to you and taste that goat meat. So like I feel like you might even just get an expression.
Many times. So the way the market is set up, and because of COVID-19, you can't eat. I mean, it's a very small space.
I mean, even if you wanted to, you can't just eat.
Yeah,
it might be like
there's
most of your food is takeaway, right?
It's 99% takeaway.
Yeah.
There are seats there, but of course, COVID, you can't sit there. You can eat upstairs.
Yeah.
So it's not necessary. Well, it's takeaway and eat upstairs, basically.
Takeaway, eat upstairs, right.
And so many times, especially if it's their first time, and we get a lot of first-time customers on a daily basis, and they so many times if I had a quarter for every time they've done that and come back and told us, we just had to come back and tell you the food was amazing. You know, that's what I love when they do that, because it's a certain group that does that. You feel me?
Yeah.
They come back and they tell you, look, the food was amazing. We've never had this food.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I mean, it means a lot to us. We love it.
Yeah.
That's what keeps us going.
Right.
You know, before we started making any type of money, you know, that's as cliche as it sounds. That's what kept us going, when you had your customers who literally come and eat every day, if not every other day, or twice a week, or once a week, and they come back. We build relationships with these people.
Right.
And
they become like return customers.
They become return customers. We look at them like friends, really, because we know them by first name. We talking about people who come every single day sometimes.
Right. Because they work
and they work nearby,
Yeah,
downtown
nearby,
core, and
absolutely.
you know, and this even goes back to our original location.
Right.
We have customers that I consider family.
Yeah.
You know.
This location put you guys on the map.
Yeah, it did.
And somewhat put in Somalis in the map in somewhat.
Absolutely.
Even though Columbus, it is the second largest population in the United States. Minneapolis is the first, and we are the second in Columbus. And despite that, I mean, you guys, experiencing somewhat success. You guys enjoying, where you from, like
humble beginnings.
From humble beginning, like like to now, and there is no success story without obstacles, without challenges. And I remember way back when when
yes, sir.
I remember way back when you guys fairly new. I think right now is about 10 years.
Us? No, 7.
7 years?
No, 6.
6 years.
6.
It's a little bit more than that.
Open 2014.
2014?
Yeah.
Okay.
So almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learned about 𝐷𝐻𝐈 Kitchen about 2015. I think it was winter of 2015 when I actually learned about it.
It feels like 10 years.
It
feels like 10 years.
It does feel like that.
Yeah.
And so you guys faced some tough times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We faced many struggles. Our struggles could fill a whole podcast episode.
Yeah.
We survived what many people would have, given up.
Right.
Year 1, year 2. I mean, initially our first year we were moving and shaking. Alhamdulillah, we were doing amazing. And I feel like a lot of
the reality kicks in.
a lot of people saw our success. I don't want to attribute it to just that, but I feel like that played a major role in what transpired. But ultimately, a lot of new restaurants opened after us.
Okay.
Saying, "Oh, these kids open a restaurant? They don't know what you know what I mean?" Like, we opened a restaurant and we were doing great. I mean, I'll tell you what. When we first opened and I saw the money coming in, I was like, this is business?
Yeah.
This is the restaurant business?
This is heaven.
This is easy. This is easy. This is nothing. I mean, you're tired, you're exhausted, but the money's good.
Right.
And then reality kicks in.
Right.
8-9 months later when heavy hitters start opening up and then you see your profits shrink. Your profit margins
goes down.
I mean, like it was such a drastic change from year 1 to year 2, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because it makes you more resilient.
Right.
It makes you more creative. It makes you more hungry. It makes you more all the attributes that you'd want in a success story. Happens when you struggle, not when you succeed.
Right.
It happens when literally your the gas companies calling you asking for their money.
Yeah.
And they cut their thing off. They cut their gas off for their electricity. It's happened. And I'd be lying to the listeners if I said that never happened. Of course it happened. That's the type of struggle we went through.
That's the.
So, and I only say that to just make aware to the listeners or whoever's listening that if you start a business, do not ever think it's gonna be easy. It could be any type of business. You know, it could be any type of business. It's never gonna be easy.
Right.
You know, and if it is easy in the front end, please believe it's gonna get harder.
What was going through your mind when the utility company is calling you, saying that
it's bad, bro? I mean, it's bad. Like sometimes.
Have you thought about giving up?
You know, the first 3 years I never thought about giving up. The first 3 years, and we struggled. I was, you know, very. I was adamant to never let that seep into my head because I was hearing it from people around. You know, my Hoya, who's, you know, older and she's working too. It's not. It's a family business. This is a family business, and the family suffers.
If I can say one quick statement that in entrepreneurship, right? We talk about a lot of laser focus. You know, what I'm hearing from your story, it was laser focused, and I think that what makes it in a success story. So now, if you were not focused, if you did not have your eyes on the prize, if you did not have with the end in mind, there were I don't think we'll be here right now talking this. I don't think you would have North Market location. I don't think the Hoya's Kitchen, you know, would exist in the way that it exists at this moment. But I just wanted to point that out because I think what differentiated you was that laser focus. Like you said, I know Hoya, I know the whole family, and Hoya is working hard. So as Hayat and your siblings is working hard, so that what makes it even more somewhat likable story because it's a you know, that's how you guys bond.
Yes.
I feel like. Do you get what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We've gotten much closer since opening the restaurant. It's not easy.
You know, they say if you want to get to know somebody, travel with that person.
If you really want to get to know someone, open a restaurant together because you'll learn a lot. Yeah,
you'll learn a lot. That's true.
And you know, when you own a restaurant with your mother and your family, you know, when you're in your house,
right,
you know, you show your mother the utmost respect. And, you know, in all settings, I should say.
Settings.
But when you're partners in a restaurant,
it's different.
It gets it gets tricky. It gets tricky, and you know, and the first year for me was a struggle because I was very anxious. I was very, Somalis would say, nervous.
Yeah, nervous.
I was very nervous.
Nervous.
I was very nervous. So, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me patience now.
Right.
I feel like Zen mode. I just nothing bothers me. Nothing that I can't control, I can't control. And I had to learn that through, you know, blowing up at the rest of just like, it's such a stressful environment. If we hadn't, you know, exemplified patience as a virtue, then we would not be able to open at the North Market because we would have quit year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. You know, I'll tell you a story of how we got to the North Market before anything else. And this is why I tell people you have to be in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that presents itself.
Yeah.
You know, a door's not gonna open for you if you don't try. If you don't put yourself in front of the door.
Absolutely.
It's not gonna open.
Absolutely.
You see?
Absolutely.
So
let's elaborate on that.
So number one, we opened the restaurant. Okay, we opened the restaurant. I didn't want it to be just another Somali restaurant. I'm not saying we're the best Somali restaurant in Columbus. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying we only focus on Ajnabi people, or we only focus on Somali. I only had $5,000 to open the restaurant. That's it. My father gave me that money. My father is the one who promised me.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
Once I graduate university.
Yeah.
Because I asked him.
Yeah.
I asked him. I said, I'm not working for anybody. You know, I want to start my own thing. I need you to invest in my business. And that was the best investment he ever made, because I've never asked him for anything ever again. And so
he basically taught you how to fish.
Exactly.
Right.
So so we opened the restaurant. I mean, before we opened it, you know, we did our own paint, we did our own renovation, we did our own this and that. We did it with a shoestring budget. $5,000 is not a lot of money.
It's not a lot compared to like what you're facing.
When the day that we were supposed to open, I'm telling you something that I never told anyone.
Okay.
I don't think I've told. Maybe I might have told one or two people as a business lesson. When it was time to open, I went to Restaurant Depot, got all the stuff that we needed to open. This is day of, by the way. Okay. Card got declined because I used all that $5,000 on everything up until that point. Paint, the renovations, floor, equipment, here. So when it was time to go to Restaurant Depot, that was business lesson number 1. Check what's available in your account. Because we got declined.
Yeah.
Okay? And I had to figure something out. We had to figure something out. And we got the money through.
You know what's impressive? Just the fact that now you can look back and connect those dots. Now you can look back and share that lesson that nobody else will have to go through that. And now you can sit back and say, boy, if we were overplanned, if you were kind of somewhat somebody that, okay, let me plan, let me find the perfect time, let me find the perfect... There is no such a thing in a perfect timing. You just have to go through the process. And I think what some of the audience will learn from here is that, especially the ones that want to start up a business, regardless any kind of business, I think the lesson here is that if you feel passionate about it, you will forget about anything else.
Facts.
You will forget about, a business plan. You will forget about, you need to have this. You just focused on having this amazing product in front of people. And I think that's the lesson, because you're too focused, because, you were getting ready to open, you were getting ready to die, you forget, those are the things that a passion person will easily just kind of overlook. And I'm glad that you can just sit here and look back and be like, man, if I wouldn't take for granted, how I can buy now.
Look, I wouldn't say don't plan. Definitely plan. But if you try to plan and study and do all that, to an extent, that's just detrimental to your to taking the first step.
Gotcha.
Which is just taking the first step, which is just doing it.
There was this quote: a thousand step journey starts with the first step. I believe it said something like that. Right? Where did the name Hoyo come about? Like, how did that?
I came up with it, and a lot of restaurants opened after us with that name.
Okay.
And that's a whole different thing.
Where did that idea?
The idea came from me thinking of an idea for a name, and
when you're like I was spending green lighting session or something.
No, it's just a lot of the stuff came from my head, and the name really, I wanted it to mean something. I didn't want it to just be some little tool in Somali, 𝐷𝐿𝐷 or whatever.
That's right.
I hate that.
Okay.
It's not. There's no vision. There's no creativity in that. And it's not inclusive, because you want it to be something that means something, not just mean something to people from that village.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So 𝐻𝐻𝐿 is something that's very inclusive to everybody.
Yeah.
Not just Somalis, everyone. Once they find out what the name is, 𝐻𝐻𝐿, that means mom. I love my mom's cooking. Your mom's cooking could be good, it could be bad, but you love your mom's food. It's good to you. That's where that came from, and you know, initially, she didn't like the name.
Yeah.
When I came up to her with it, because she wanted something else, and I was like, 𝐻𝐻𝐿, look, this is the name right here.
Yeah.
People are gonna love it, you know. And then fast forward, you open, 𝐻𝐻𝐿 becomes 𝐻𝐻𝐿, and then she became 𝐻𝐻𝐿.
Yeah.
So everywhere she goes, people call her 𝐻𝐻𝐿. So she's just like, she's proud of that.
That's cool.
You know, she's very proud of that part of it. So,
what would you share? Somebody who is getting ready to open up a restaurant, getting ready to open up any type of a passion or pursue their passion, I would say. You know, what would you share? Or you know, what would you say to the 16-year-old now? You know, knowing you went through what you did.
You need to think outside of the box.
We do.
We need to think
whatever
outside.
that means. We do.
No, I mean, it applies to many different facets of our life. You know, whether it's school, whether it's business, whether it's life, I mean, we have to think outside of the box. Be creative. That means just be creative. Be creative. You know, don't let lack of capital stop you from being where you need to be.
I agree.
Money is not the end-all be-all of the business. I mean, because if you have the idea, you know, you could sell the idea, not sell equity in your business. I mean, you can attract investment with an idea, you know.
Right.
And it's all about putting that idea on paper. You know, put that idea on paper, and then it becomes a thing. Yeah. So let's focus on improving on the foundation that was laid before us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the generation before us, they did what they did because you know, they came here to a new country. I mean, they did a lot for people who came and you know, escaping a civil war, and you know, language barrier exists, so they can't break through that ceiling. You know, our father's generation, our mother's generation, they have a ceiling. You know,
they reached a high ceiling.
Their ceiling was, you know, here.
Yeah.
A lot of these young people were born here, raised here. You know, you have no excuses.
Right.
Zero excuses to reach for the top. So, inshallah, we get there, and I would love to see more of that.
Yeah, me too.
Because you know, you see what's going on out here.
Right.
You see these kids, you know, getting stuck, and you know, all these things are unnecessary.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. Very, and it's really unfortunate. But we won't focus on the negatives. We can only focus on the positives.
I mean, it's a true aspect of our society, especially in our community.
It's got the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know, well said. It is the combination, and hopefully, you know, we'll try to continue to focus on the positive side and the positive discussion. And yeah, I want to share this one thing. There's a book out there called The Power of Broke, and the majority of the people that are successful, whether that is on they made enough money to get to where they need to be, they made enough money for the rest of their lives, and as well as trickles down to their families in generation to come. Oftentimes what I hear or what I see is that you know, I will give it up for the most of it just to go back without the knowledge that I have, or just to go back because I know how I can make a difference, or I see it better. So this book kind of sort of talks about when you're hungry for something, you will pretty much forced to be creative, really. But when you get to a certain level, we lose that. So don't lose the creativity.
Oh.
Don't lose the creativity, my friend.
Inshallah, I get to that point.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, I get to that point.
Don't lose the creativity. So
I get there, but creativity. You're born with it. You're born with it.
You're born with it. There's a forces that can.
I shouldn't say that.
No, I mean there's somewhat of things that that are genetic that we came to this world with it. But the majority of the things I think is stuff that we learn. And what life throws at you is just obstacles in the way, and hopefully you went to Somalia. You have seen a lot of challenges.
Yes.
I went to Somalia. I've seen a lot of challenges.
Yes. And that's another thing.
Yeah.
I advise everyone to go back. And to visit.
To go for visit
and open your eyes to reality.
Yeah.
These people are stuck in America, North America. They don't see. Their eyes are closed.
Yeah.
They don't see what's going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of challenges in Somalia, and these people who live in the diaspora, the silver lining in all of us, escaping a civil war is you have more people educated now than ever before, or who have the opportunity to be educated in the universities they would never have accessed back home. So don't waste your time chilling. Don't waste your time chilling. You know what I mean? Kicking it with dudes, man. Kicking it with guys and wasting your time because I see that as a complete waste of time.
Time is the essence.
Take advantage of your opportunities. Go back home with those opportunities and do something if that's what you want to do. Because that's too deep for some people. Just be the best person you can be.
Be the best person you can be. And I think that's one way to wrap it up. Be the best person you can be. Thank you so much for taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
I know we're not allowed to shake hands. COVID era.
It's all right.
We're gonna shake hands.
We'll get the hands.